In this video, we will dive into something that often gets overlooked, but is, in many ways, the key to human progress: creative intelligence. Now, when you hear the word intelligence, your mind probably jumps straight to an IQ test. You know, the ones where you stare at a bunch of squiggly shapes, trying to figure out what comes next, like you're decoding an ancient alien language. Or maybe you think of someone with encyclopedic knowledge who can rattle off facts about anything from quantum physics to why cats always land on their feet. Creative intelligence is the ability to not just absorb information, but to make connections between seemingly unrelated things, to push boundaries, to create something entirely new. It's the ability to think outside the box. The problem is, most of us aren't even aware there is a box to begin with. Creative intelligence is the ability to break that box apart and turn it into something else entirely. Take, for instance, a concept we all know but might not think about in a creative way: problems. Most people look at a problem and see it as a hurdle to overcome, a mountain to climb. But someone with high creative intelligence, they don't see a mountain, they see a puzzle. They see pieces, and those pieces can be moved around, rearranged. The problem is just the starting point. The magic happens in how they reframe it. Creative intelligence can be broken into two different categories, what we call fluid intelligence and crystallized intelligence. Fluid intelligence is pure creative power, which often peaks in the low to mid-20s through about the age of 30 plus or minus a few years, and allows you to solve problems quickly and uniquely. Once you are in your 30s, you begin to become more dependent on your crystallized intelligence. Crystallized intelligence is your memory bank of accumulated knowledge over time, which helps you to solve problems quickly based upon experience. We can demonstrate this by looking at 5 different artists and bands who were all platinum recording artists. The Beatles' first album was released in 1963, with the members of the band being between the ages of 21 and 23. The Beatles lasted until 1970, when the youngest member would have been 30 and the oldest 32. Every Beatles album was created during peak creativity levels. The same happened with Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin released their first album in 1969 with bandmates ages ranging between 21 and 23 and finished their peak in 1979 when they were between the ages of 31 and 33. Lightning in a bottle for 10 years of peak fluid intelligence. The same can be said for Pink Floyd. Pink Floyd released their first album in 1967, but they hit their peak from 1973 to 1979 with albums like Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here, Animals, and The Wall. Each member of the band was between the ages of 27 and 36. Another prime example is Canadian rock trio Rush. They released their first album in 1974, but peaked between 1976 to 1984, known as the Golden Age of Rush, releasing masterpieces like 2112, A Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Waves, Moving Pictures, Signals, and Grace Under Pressure. Bandmates were between the ages of 23 and 24 and finished their peak between the ages 31 and 32. And finally, the highest grossing album of all time with more than 70 million records sold, Michael Jackson's Thriller, which was created when he was 24 years old. We see the same things with professional athletes. Aaron Judge of the New York Yankees hit 63 legitimate home runs in 2022 at the age of 30. Corey Seager is a 2 World Series MVP, once with the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2020 and once with the Texas Rangers in 2023, ages 26 and 29 respectively. The amazing thing about creative intelligence is that it's not reserved for a select few. It's something that everyone can access, no matter your background. Sure, some people may be born with a natural flair for creativity, but creative intelligence is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Take the process of brainstorming, for example. The next time you're in a meeting and you're all sitting around trying to figure out a solution to a problem, try doing this. Instead of just listing ideas, throw out the craziest ones first. The more outlandish, the better. By throwing out the oddball ideas, you're stimulating new ways of thinking. You're allowing your mind to connect dots it never would have connected before. Here's another example. You know how, when you're in the shower, ideas tend to come to you. Or when you're on a walk or doing something repetitive, that's your brain tapping into creative intelligence, even without you trying. This is called incubation. It's the process of letting your subconscious do the work. You give it some space, Let the ideas marinate, and the next thing you know, a brilliant solution just pops into your head like it was always there. Remember that scene in Men in Black 3 where Kay says they need pie? But here's the catch. Creativity isn't always glamorous. Sometimes the most brilliant ideas come out of failure. Think about all the inventions that happened because something went wrong. The microwave, that was an accident. Post-it notes? An accident. Even chocolate chip cookies were born out of a mistake. The original recipe was supposed to be for chocolate cookies, but the baker didn't have enough chocolate. She used broken pieces instead, and boom, the chocolate chip cookie was born. Creative intelligence thrives on trial and error. It's a messy, unpredictable process, but it's how great things come to life. So don't be afraid to fail. In fact, fail often. Fail better. Every time you fail, you're gathering the pieces you need to make something even greater. And here's a little secret. You're already creative. We all are. Sometimes it just takes a little push or a change in perspective to unleash it. Whether you're an artist, a scientist, entrepreneur, or even a parent, creativity is part of your toolbox. It's not about waiting for a eureka moment, it's about learning how to nurture the conditions for those moments to happen. In the end, creative intelligence isn't just about coming up with something new. It's about seeing the world in a different way, solving problems, and finding opportunities where others might see obstacles. It's about being curious, taking risks, and embracing the messiness of the mundane. So, the next time you're faced with a challenge, don't just look for a solution. Look for the opportunity to create something even better than you imagined. From all of us here at Philosophical Capital, thank you for watching our videos, liking them, and subscribing to our channel. We are grateful for all of you and look forward to producing more content for your enjoyment. We want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.